Hi everyone. According to my birth certificate, my name is Brandon. Brandon, like Brandon. According to my birth certificate, it's what the name says. A Brandon, it has an A in front of Brandon, you know. Smoking a cigar right now. As you can see, it's brown, the same color as me, brown. Because I am not the color of my t-shirt or my shirt, Growing up, people taught me stuff that I don't really understand. So, I'm a mental health patient because I've been told a lot of lies. People told me that I am black, but people told me that my shirt is black, you know. This cigar is brown, and it looks very similar to the color of my skin. I was taught a lot of stuff that was not true growing up. And growing up when I was 5 years old, I would go to mental health doctors. And I would go to this place called Western Mental Health. It was a clinic in Inslee in the city of Birmingham, Alabama. They would give me pills, psychiatric drugs. And they would put those drugs in my food. When I was in elementary school, I would have to go to the principal's office to take my medicine or psychiatric drugs, When I would be in the home as a child, ever since I was like 5 years old, the person who claimed to be Yolanda Johnson, the name on my birth certificate, who claimed to be a mom, would put drugs in my food. She would mash the pills, the drugs up, and put it in the food. And so I was under the influence of drugs ever since I was 5 years old. Being under the influence of drugs, and those drugs have side effects. I was told it's not my fault if I was under the influence of drugs. I was not supposed to be locked up when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Because if the person who claimed to be Yolanda Johnson, who claimed to be a mom, knows drugs were being put into my food, know that I was under the influence of drugs, psychiatric drugs, psychiatric medication. At the clinic, at the doctor, they call it drug therapy. And since drugs have side effects, and I did not give myself those drugs, it's crazy, Some people say that, it may never be the same again because the damage that those drugs did to my mind. It used to be a commercial about eggs. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions? If there was anything wrong with my behavior, because I was also molested ever since I was 5 years old. And I was the youngest in the household or in the family that they said was a family, And I told the person that was supposed to be called mom, and I told the person that they were supposed to, that she said was her mom. Her name, the lady that was on the birth certificate that was supposed to be the mom, was Yolanda Johnson. And she gave me the drugs. And the lady that was supposed to be her mom, the person that was supposed to be her mom, was a person called Helen Davidson. I told both of them that I was molested. And the name of the person that molested me was Antoine V. Johnson, the same name on the marriage certificate, on the marriage license that I have. You know, I was told the same way that if it was identity theft or if somebody was pretending to be them, if it was not Yolanda, if it was not Antoine, if it was not Helen Davidson, the same way that I made all these videos saying that someone claimed to be April Williams, someone claimed to be my wife, and it was not my wife, and it was not her, that they, any of the people, if it was not them, they should say someone pretended to be them, stole their identity, or used their name, whether it was fraud or identity theft, whether they went to one of those places, or if they had a twin, or if they did something at the doctor or something, like, you know, those genetics and cloning. And someone said something about gene splicing or stuff like that. You know, I'm not a scientist, of course, so, you know, but if someone used their genetic material, whether it was their semen, their blood, their urine, that it's not my fault if they did not tell that someone else was using their identity or pretending to be them. Even if it was like one of those Bible stories with Rachel and Leah, if they had a sister that pretended to be them, or if they had a brother that pretended to be them. Because there were stories in the Bible about how they did it to girls and boys, you know. There was a story in the Bible about how the parents of Jacob and Esau told one of the boys to pretend to be the other boy. I think they told Jacob to pretend to be his brother and do something with his dad. The same way it was the parents, and they told Rachel and Leah to pretend to be each other and do something with Jacob. Just like I was told to call myself black, the color of this t-shirt, but my skin, my hands, I am not the color of my t-shirt. I don't know why people would teach me stuff and things that are not true, you know. When I was born and people said you can be any, you know, you can be whatever you want to be, you know. Some people say the world is a stage and everyone has a job to do, you know. If you chose your job, you know, because some people say slavery is a choice. Some real famous guy said slavery is a choice. And I never seen his birth certificate or his ID, and I don't know if anyone was pretending to be him the same way someone pretended to be my wife and was not. So I'm not sure of the identity. But when they say everyone has a job to do, you know, I said I wanted a girlfriend, you know, a girl who is my friend and I love, you know. And if you can't be lovers, if you can't be friends, you would have to be a girl in order to be my girlfriend. And you would have to be my friend and a girl in order to be a girl who is my friend and a girlfriend. And then, you know, the love, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby with the baby carriage. And if you were not able to get pregnant and you couldn't get pregnant, then it's just better because I would have a lot of time to love her and she would have a lot of time to love me. And since there would be no baby involved, it's like I would be her baby and she would be my baby, and I can take care of her and she can take care of me without the stress and drama of a baby crying, diaper changing, and all of the extra trouble and problems that come along with a baby. You know, the first time I saw a child being born, I said, I don't want any more children. I don't want any children because a child is a child and children is more than one child. So I said, I don't want any children or any kids because a kid is one kid. A child is one child, you know. And they was talking about soul contracts and people stealing people's souls and how slavery is a choice. If you know when you came to this world, you did not choose to have children and you did not choose to have kids, but you said you would have a child. You said you would have a kid, you know. They said never forget where you come from. Never forget who you are. Know yourself. Me, myself, said a child, a kid, you know. If someone else had a different plan, whether they call it family planning or planned parenthood, if it was not my plan, it's not for me. If it was not your plan, it's not for you. If you are a living soul and you have a soul and you know you never made a contract for children or for kids, and you never wanted to be a mom or a dad, or you never wanted to make a family, because families may exist, but that may not be your job. It said, I was told, don't let a person trick you into being a family maker, a family dad or father or whatever they call it, if you know you only want it to be a lover. You know, you wanted to love somebody. You wanted to love a girl, you know, and be married to her. Or you wanted to love a boy and be married to him. If it was your job to love a girl and be married to her, all you have to do is love a girl and be married to her. It's your job. If you wanted to love a boy and be married to him, all you have to do is love a boy and be married to him. It's your job. I've been doing my job by loving girls, and I never made a girl into a single mother, and I never did any family planning, and I never forced a girl to have a baby, you know, meaning carry a baby in a pregnancy, because I never forced a girl to get pregnant when she did not want to get pregnant. So if everyone was doing their job, you know, and I was doing mine, I've done my job for 38 years, and I am not suicidal. I've done my job of not getting girls pregnant, ruining their bodies,